Tarleton State transfer Bristow, sorry, my apologies, who was the WAC freshman of the year last year, the Texas native who started 19, made 19 starts in 23 games for Tarleton State, as committed to Alabama to play for Nate Oates. 6'8", 190. You assume he'll probably play like the three, maybe four, depending a little bit undersized weight wise to play the four. So maybe a lot of three, four Nate Oates. And he now goes from Tarleton State to go play for Bama and Nate Oates this season with multiple years of eligibility, as well being a freshman last season. Dion, first off, what do you think about this ad? And then I guess we'll kind of dive deeper into, you know, Bama's portal outlook so far because and I mean, obviously you're never really done in the portal, but maybe they are done.
Yeah, I mean, so the ad to me is an interesting one. Do you know what other schools he had on his list?
You know what? Let me look that up as you kind of go through this.
I feel like so he's a three man. He won what WAC freshman of the year. Um, Also learned today Tarleton State's in the WAC, so I want to shout them out. That's a pretty good conference for them. Um, but I mean, he shot 49 total free throws across 23 games. So he got fouled once a game, essentially. 32% from three. He didn't start in every game at Tarleton State, 26 minutes. I think he adds a lot. I think he can score the ball well. He has some foul issues. He has some turnover issues. But I think he can score the ball. I think he can rebound, and I think he can play defense. I do believe he adds stuff to this Alabama team. I don't think this guy is an immediate SEC transfer. I would have liked for him to take a step to like a high major program, but I would have liked for him to go to like a Vanderbilt or to go to like a Big East school or maybe, I mean, I don't, we were discussing this in a different video today. Card and I aren't sure if the Pac-12 is back. I think it is. Card doesn't. If the Pac-12 is back, like I would have loved for him to go to like a Pac-12 school or like, you know what I mean? Something like that. Like, let's take a step in between the big step. I think the big step to high major basketball, also to the SEC, which is not going to be the conference it was last year, but is still probably going to be the best conference in college basketball. That's a very, very big step. And you're going into Alabama, which has a lot of expectations. I'm going to save my thoughts on it for when we discuss their portal class. I don't think this roster is going to meet expectations, though.
Yeah, so they have 1 to 2 spots I think still available. The list for Bristow originally when he entered was Loyola, Cincy, Bama, Texas Tech, Texas, Grand Canyon, Syracuse, Ole Miss, and Kansas State. Some very intriguing spots, I guess, on that a wide variety as well. And look, it's you assume this is a multi-year guy, right? Obviously only playing 1 year, only shot 33% from deep, right? So like not necessarily, in a Nate Oates system, you want a guy that knocks down shots, a little bit undersized weight wise. I also, depending on where you look, I've seen him listed from 6'7" to 6'10". So not sure what exactly size he is. Did have some good defensive moments. He combined for 45 blocks and steals, so he was able to make an impact on that end of the floor. But I just with Bama's ads in the transfer portal, I just thought that, there'd be a little bit of more of an aggressive approach, higher level pedigree players coming in because, obviously you can't do this because guys leave for different reasons. But I much rather keep like a Darion Reed on my team over Keitenn Bristow. Now, obviously, Reed leaves, you got to make a move and pick somebody up. But I don't know. I think the moments are there for this kid, and he has flashes, and it's an intriguing player. I just, I watched the film, and it didn't scream like Bama to me, if that makes sense.
We interrupt this sleepers video to tell you about an offer from Underdog Fantasy. Cart, you love Underdog Fantasy, correct?
Of course I do. Can I have a moment real quick?
Please. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to cut you off because our listeners like when we keep these short and sweet. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up as a new user. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get bonus funds up to $1,000, 50% of your deposit match. The NBA playoffs are rocking right now. I played Underdog last week with a Cade Cunningham line. I'm looking forward to doing it throughout the entire first round of the NBA playoffs, but there's more. You can place picks on golf. You can place picks on baseball. You can place picks on the NHL playoffs that are rocking right now. Join Underdog Fantasy, promo code Sleepers. Support this show so that we can keep bringing videos to you. Back to the video.
To be fair, I don't think anybody in this class has. When you look at, I mean, Jaleel Bethea does, but the the more the class plays out, did Jaleel Bethea choose Alabama because they were going to play him? Like, and that's my takeaway is like when you look at this transfer portal class, like I love Jaleel Bethea's game. I think he's ultimately going to be an NBA guy. Probably should have been a one and done type of dude, but obviously things didn't work out at Miami. I hope they work out at Alabama. But like, was this his decision because he knew how this portal class was going to play out for Alabama? And we thought he was going to one of the best teams in the country. Is he actually going to a school that's more of like a high upside, high major team? You know what I mean? Like, how much different is Alabama going to be than Miami this year? And I
Yeah.
think that's a much closer conversation than anyone wants to have. And the rest of this portal class, Noah Williamson makes sense if you have the roster last year. If you have this year's roster, I don't think Noah Williamson makes any sense.
Yeah, and look, you have Aiden Holloway back. You get Latrell Wrightsell back, but he's coming off an Achilles injury. Jaleel Bethea's in that, Williamson's in that. It's just, I'm not saying the class is just like bad. It's just like, you look at Bama and what Bama does and who Bama is and how Bama operates. Just kind of expected a little bit more of like, an aggressive portal approach. I think it started with losing Adrian Wooley to Louisville, and it's kind of
Yeah.
gone south since then.
Yeah.
Losing the Tuscaloosa kid, but yeah, there's a world where I think you brought it up offline. Uh, Kalen DeBoer might be destroying Alabama sports because I think the boosters saw they're like, what the hell? This ain't Nick Saban football. And said, we're not letting that happen again. We're gonna
Yeah.
send all the money to football, and I don't know if any money's left over for Nate Oates.
I'm gonna be honest. I think Nate Oates can coach a basketball team the way he's going to have to build and coach an Alabama roster. However, we saw Trey Holloman leave Michigan State 5 days after his coach said this was the most connected Michigan State school he's had in a very long time. Trey Holloman was his guy. I think Izzo is creeping towards, I don't know if I want to coach in this era anymore. I think Nate Oates needs money. I think Michigan State actually has plenty of money to put into the basketball program. There's North Carolina. Hubert stinks. Like, let's just be honest. Hubert's going to be out of there. I think the Arizona job could become available. Kansas could become available with Bill Self. What I'm trying to say is don't expect Nate Oates to be at Alabama for long if this is how they're going to do it. Like, can he do it if he has to? Yes. He doesn't have to, though. So if you're an Alabama booster, you have to provide to him what he can get elsewhere. And what he can get elsewhere is the world. So I don't think he's going to be at Alabama for long unless something changes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm throwing out a Kalen DeBoer is killing Alabama basketball tweet currently. I'm gonna let that ride, no context, and just let that kind of go. But yeah, I think good. Obviously, for Bristow, not to take away from his game, like there is something there. And honestly, credit to him for getting to Bama. Like that's a hell of an upgrade for him. But I guess we'll kind of see how the roster fills out because they do have one or two more spots. But yeah, so far I think the word I would use is just interesting for this Bama class. But we'll see where it ends up. Shout out to you got anything else, Dion? Go ahead.
All I was going to say, the jig is up.
The jig's up.
The jig is up.
Oh, jig's up. Okay. All
The
right.
jig is up. It's as simple as that. Like we had a fun 5, 6 year run there in Tuscaloosa playing basketball. I want to know the boosters have decided we won't be playing basketball anymore. The
Yeah,
jig
Nate,
is up.
Nate Oates, come on down to Michigan State, sir. Come on down.